All right, good evening, everybody. This is the joint D.P.W Subcommittee and Town Council meeting Wednesday, May 1st, 2024, 6 p.m. here in the Veterans Conference Room, or meeting room. Call to order, number one. Number two, roll call. Councilor Shenier.
Yep.
Councilor Daniel.
Present.
Councilor Adams is here. Citizen member Cody is absent. Citizen member Lazo is absent. All right. 3, approve DPW draft minutes from April 25th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, thank you. Discussion on it.
There you
Any discussion on it? None? All those in favor? 3-0. Very well, it's no big deal. I'm just gonna note that citizen member Cody arrived. So 3-0. Okay. All right, number 4, review, discuss water department's intent awards SCADA input/output system replacement and upgrade project to Woodard and Kieran for $59,750 be paid from project account number 2, which is going to be determined. Recommended the town council approval and authorize town manager to sign all related paperwork.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion.
Mr. Chairman, Steve is here from the Water Department. SCADA is an important part of our security, computer security, runs the plant. It was a budgeted item within the Water Enterprise Fund for this fiscal year, so it's within the project accounts that we had. And Steve's here for any other questions.
Very well. Any discussion on this? Councilor Marquetti?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you. So you're going to take $59,750 from that account that to be determined. Yeah, and you want the councils to vote on that and allow you to sign something without letting us know what account it's coming from?
I will get the exact project account number for Monday night, but it is within the line item of the Water Enterprise budget. I don't have my budget.
You may remember a couple weeks ago, Councilor Marquetti, we voted to move money from in-budget capital to a project account. That's this account. I had requested the account number for the new project from the accounting office, and with everything on their plate right now, they weren't able to get it to me for the meeting.
Okay, so that $250,000 that we set aside last year for SCADA, if you recall, we had wanted to take it out of capital, but you wanted it in your budget. So we were actually voted to give you more money, but you wanted it in your capital, so it was reduced to $250. I believe you've already used 50 of that. I thought I saw something that at the last meeting you had used 50,000 out of that.
No, I think that was a different project. This is the first time we're touching that.
But the SCADA itself is $250, so if you're going to start taking money out of there.
Right, this is the design and bid for that project. We estimate the total expenditure to be under the $250.
Okay, so the construction of it won't come near $250.
Right, we're hoping it's gonna be under 200, well, obviously 180-ish for total construction.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Number 5, review, discuss DPW transfer request for $5,000 from account number 001495-513100 overtime snow and ice to 001499-553100 signs and posts to cover purchases for signs and posts to the end of fiscal year 24. Entertain a motion to recommend.
So moved.
Very well. Need a second?
Second.
Very well. Discussion.
I'll defer to the DPW on these two transfers.
This is, we're trying to liquidate some accounts before our cutoff at the end of this month with accounting. There's some open, I believe there's some open invoices. We had some overages on signs and posts this year due to the construction projects that last year that were basically in-house designed. So for signage, delineation and so on with those, plus some additional stuff that was brought forth from Traffic Commission for signs that weren't expected, and then the grant from, for the school zone sign supplies that we had to purchase separately so that we didn't have to pay for the installation of those signs. We ended up going over a little bit on our budget line for that this year. So we're just trying to make sure that we do a one-time transfer to make sure we have enough funds in that account to finish out this fiscal year.
Okay, discussion. Council Marquette.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. $5,000 for signs? That seems a little high, no?
I can't back it up at this moment in time, honestly. My apologies for not being 100% prepared, but I didn't have time to prepare for this meeting.
All right.
So anything that,
Go ahead, Mr.
so
Manager.
we're moving it over for signs and posts, whatever doesn't get spent will be just closed out to free cash anyway.
Correct.
So it's more or less signs and posts, and I know we've talked about some additional signs too for the D.P.W facility because we're moving the trash, not the trash, I apologize, the leaf collection, we're gonna have to put some signage in there too, so it's for whatever signage we can get up throughout the town for the rest of the fiscal year, whatever else. Rather than say 1,000 and then come back, or 2,500, it's 5,000, whatever we don't spend. Nobody's going on a spend and freeze. We put a very clear expectation. There's a clear memo that went to all department heads that they are to make sure to plan for whatever supplies they need for the rest of this fiscal year. Normal supplies, not extraordinary, outside the box stuff, but regular supplies. They are to make sure that they have their purchase orders, any purchases and purchase orders, all done by May 31st, with no exception, outside of emergencies. So that's been communicated to every department head, that you look at all your supply accounts, you make your plans of what you need to get to the rest of the fiscal year. So that's why this is coming now as opposed to later. It's because we intend on June 30th to be much closer to be able to close the year with purchase orders in hand, encumbrances set up, and then do the normal closeout in a timely manner. So that's been communicated to all departments, and that's new this year. So that's what we're doing.
Okay,
Councilor Senior?
With this here, you're gonna be able to replenish what you have used also, correct?
So this is gonna pay for what we have pending currently, and then
Yep.
give us a little bit of money to finish out the year. As Jack said, we're just making sure that we're doing this one time. If we don't, we're not gonna go buy, 100 signs just
Right.
to spend the money. We just wanna make sure that we can get through this, close everything out, and be on our, proper timeline.
And you do a lot of in-house signage, don't you?
Yeah, we do all of our signage we do in-house. What do you mean, as far as installation, or?
Well, even some of them you make up, like the street signs, don't you make, I thought you used to
Purchase
do.
everything.
Okay.
Everything is purchased.
You all set?
Yeah.
Councilor? Okay.
Thank you.
Just off topic. Well, go ahead, Mr. Cody.
We don't do that anymore? We used to make our own street signs and stuff.
Everything is purchased. We install.
Is there a reason? I was told it was a lot cheaper to make them ourselves before. I know the guy who used to make them for, who worked for the town who made them, and he said it's a lot cheaper to make them than buy them.
Aluminum printed signs,
Yeah.
we can't legally make them. We have to buy approved, MUTCD approved, retro-reflective signs now. Anything that's not retro-reflective, we can't use anymore. I have a complete sign inventory. We have to go through and dispose of signs that we can no longer use.
I don't know. All right.
New
I'll
laws.
ask him about it. And also,
Okay, thank you, sir. Quick question, kind of off topic, but on topic. I know the World War Memorial Park used to be, they had it under Elm Street. Pete took it down, put a little cone up there. Do you know if that's part of that? Of a order? They're gonna change, it's a timing, it's the park times that people could be in and out. Do you know if that's part of it? Don't know, okay. I'll talk to Pete, I'll give him a call. And I was gonna ask the same thing to the town manager, just about the, kind of like a freeze there in a period of time, and then I'm assuming you would approve any last minute purchases in those 30 days?
Yeah, it's gonna go through the regular procurement, but it was like, look, we understand that, especially DPW, like they're maybe out on a road job and something breaks or they need additional materials, obviously they're gonna be able to do that. This is more or less for, I think as Dean communicated to a couple people, what would you not know that you needed to purchase on May 15th that you wouldn't purchase on June 15th. Have a plan.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Within reason. It's not, again, it's not a spending spree. It's what supplies to get you to the end of the year and make sure you have them on hand.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All's in favor? Okay, thank you. 6, review, discuss DPW transfer request for $2,500 from 01495-513100 overtime snow to ice. Snow and ice to 001499-569-000 to cover elevator inspections, re-inspection, and additional reimbursement through the end of the fiscal year 24. Entertain a motion.
So move.
Thank you. Thank you.
This obviously is for, we have typically this time of year, we have re-inspections. This would just make sure we have enough money for the inspections of our elevators and any regular maintenance or re-inspections that we have to do. But we have police, town hall,
Police.
DPW, and library.
Okay.
And this is something too that I think we've talked about during budget season that we'll probably centralize at some point. A lot of the things we're gonna start to look to centralize to one
Like
account.
elevators? Okay.
Elevators, motor vehicle parts, we've had a lot of conversations about centralization of these so that they all get coordinated out of one account and one individual.
Council Marquetti?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you. The town hall elevator has a really bad bounce to it.
Yeah. We've
I don't know
had,
how they get it
That's
inspected.
why you jump before it ends.
Whether that's unsafe, safe, I would think it just feels unsafe.
yeah, we'll have them come back out. I know that they have come out, but
Currently, the town of Southbridge does not have an elevator contract for elevator maintenance. Typical elevator maintenance would have a maintenance crew come in once or twice a year, do general maintenance on the elevator, check cable tensions, check sensors, check oil. Typical maintenance would be to change oil. If you've ever been in the men's room on the basement floor of the town hall, you'll notice that there is like a oily electrical smell. That is
Right.
because the oil in the elevator has not been changed in God knows how many years. So this is something that we recently discovered when DPW elevator failed its inspection. So that's what some of this funding is for. We had to make some repairs to the elevator. We are going to be procuring an elevator maintenance contract moving forward so that we can establish a program with all of the town elevators and get them properly serviced.
Just like to see that elevator out there fixed. Thank you.
Good question.
no, we've
Thank
had
you.
them here a couple times, so.
Any other discussion on that? All's in favor? Thank you. What was your,
After them for the first time, I felt that.
good luck with you on that one, right? All right, number 7, review, discuss town manager's appointment of Sam Lazo as laborer, as recommended by the DPW director, effective upon completion of onboard and state ethics. Entertain a motion to the town
So
council.
moved.
Taking it.
What's this
Town
onboarding?
Onboard is just
Your general
paperwork.
employment, physical,
Oh, okay.
background check, so on and so forth.
Yep.
Ethics.
So we have 2 individuals for tonight, for appointment to laborer positions. We have 3 current openings, so this would fill 2 of them, which would leave us with 1 laborer, and then
That's great.
either the DPW, however, that's for next meeting, either a DPW assistant, director, or engineer, so we're bringing that forward. But
Okay.
pretty much, staffing has been a challenge, but we're happy to bring these 2 individuals. Sam Lazo, people that know Sam from town, has been a custodian up at the middle school, high school for a number of years, 12 years. He's a great employee up there. He's very well dedicated, and he'd like to, as he said to me the other day when I met with him, leave the dark side and come over to the town.
Not always nothing wrong with the dark side.
If you saw what the,
There's nothing.
saw what the dark side was about, you'd understand it.
But Sam would make a great addition, great work ethic, and would make a great addition to the DPW.
Very well, thank you, Mr. Town Manager. Anything else to add
So
on this
just
one?
to update what's going on here with the hiring, so right now we have 3 open maintenance man equipment operator positions. This will fill, these 2 gentlemen will fill 2 of those spots. So we are striving to try to to keep the CDL classification in our positions. So these positions are being hired, these labor positions are in lieu of those MMEO positions. So what the agreement is, upon hire, they have 1 year to get their CDL. So that is their typical, what's the word I'm looking
Their
for?
goal
No.
at the end of the day,
Progression,
No.
onboarding.
agreement.
Sorry, my brain is shot.
I think we all got it under we got it under one of these umbrellas.
So probation, they have 1 year
Oh, yeah,
probation,
thank you.
so they have till the end of their probationary period to get their CDL. So Mr. Lazo is already in the process of, he's already has his class set up to get his Class B CDL. He already has the dates set, so he's well in the process of taking care of that. Mr. Morales, I believe, is taking his actual road test either this Friday or at some point next week. As a condition of their hire, once they meet that requirement of bringing forth a CDL license, they automatically get promoted to MMEO. So that makes them whole in that position. So it's not additional positions, it's basically, it's those same positions. This is a placeholder for them to get to that when they show up with a license.
Well, thank you. Councilor Marquetti. I'll get you next.
For you to,
No, go ahead.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
am I reading his application form correctly where it says, are you eligible to work in the United States? And he checked no?
I circled it.
It does.
I'm sure that's a mistake because,
Are you gonna correct it?
yeah, I'll have him correct it, but.
Yeah. That was my question.
He was born in the United
Dude,
States,
we're all
so
like that.
I believe that was.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, I didn't.
Is
Go ahead, I just want to, Councilor Marquetti, anything else for you? Okay, go ahead. Councilor.
is there a time that we would consider having both non-CDL and regular license, and CDL employees? Because for CDL licensing today, it's like $10,000 or $12,000. And it's not like it was the old days, study the book, take a test, and then go do the road test. Now they need to go to classes and do those kind of things. So I guess what I'm saying is it's to some people, what we pay is not worth going to get that license. Is that something that in the near future, probably with negotiations and stuff, that we could consider something like that to make getting employees a little easier?
Yes and no. So the reason for that is, in order to do that, to make it work for the town, you have a choice. You can either vet qualified candidates to have a CDL license, or you can get rid of all of your fleet that requires a CDL, which is all of the large plow trucks. Unfortunately, it hasn't snowed recently in New England for some strange reason, but it will again, and we will be needing those larger trucks. So to make that go away, no. We have 9 CDL trucks that are on the road for a snowstorm, and we have to retain those. There are some small areas where you can get away from some of that. The water department bought a truck that would be classified as a CDL truck, had it D-rated, registered underneath the limit, smaller body on it. You can do those things, but you couldn't do that for the entire fleet. We're always going to need people that have the license. So for now, because we can't afford to go out and buy a whole new fleet of vehicles or try to make modifications, over time we will make some modifications to the fleet to make it a little bit more user-friendly for non-CDL drivers. In the future, we could potentially be hiring some laborers to work for the department to do the trash collection, the picking of the weeds, maintaining the parks, and so on and so forth. But we're gonna need those qualified people.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
So I have a question, I not to belabor this, but the application forms, right? So we have, for Mr. Morales, it's one form, and then you have another one that's probably generated through the HR department.
One was done online, the other individual, Fabian, personally
Just
came in
came
and filled
and
it
did
out,
it.
yeah.
My question, I guess, I actually look at these, and obviously so does everybody else, but there's like, especially when there's areas when it says, has there been a time that you have not been employed? And I always look at that because it gives me, you know, 9 times out of 10, everything's going to be fine. But they don't fill that form out. And so that question is, is there a reason? I know they're fully vetted, but perception when I see it is that they're not fully vetted. So even like the armed forces, nothing's marked. They're little small things, but I thought during the HR process or through the hiring process that this would all be filled out on all forms. Some are great, some are not. So just my recommendation. That's it.
Yeah, I did have a conversation not long ago about reviewing the existing application for employment, and that, because there is a license area on the application, so even if somebody applies, I don't necessarily know whether or not they have a CDL. So that's one of the things we're looking into adding to the application, is to get a little bit more of that useful information.
Okay.
We'll take a look at it.
Thank you.
I do, real quick, because it's a little off topic. I did have a conversation with Noah today about a whole HR module that we're gonna have to take a look at, just for employee tracking, hours tracking, time off tracking, onboarding, so.
That program does that.
Yeah, so,
Very well. Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? All's in favor? Thank you. Number 8, review discuss town manager appointment of Fabian Morales as labor as recommended by the DPW director, effective completion of onboarding and state ethics. Entertain a motion to recommend.
So moved.
Thank you. Just need a second.
Sorry.
Thank you. Mr. Town Manager, I kind of went over his.
yeah, we kinda went over, I did, have a conversation with Fabian when he first came in to pick up an application. Very nice young man, lives locally, was very eager to try to get it, on board here with the community. And at the time said that he was, on his own pursuing the CDL licenses and all that. So he had the initiative that he was going out before he could even be, hired, that he was in the process of doing that. So I think he'd be a great addition. Not only that, he does speak Spanish, and we don't have a lot of Spanish-speaking individuals in our DPW. And given our community, they'll just enhance that ability to have a Spanish-speaking person in the department.
Very well, discussion. All's in favor? Number 9, review discuss the services contract between the town of Southbridge and Solitude Lake Management in the amount of $2,132 for the treatment of the recreation area, and authorize the town manager to sign all related paperwork. Entertain a motion to recommend to town council.
So moved. Second.
You have messed it all up. Now I have to change the typing and everything. No, I'm just giving these two a hard time. All right, Mr. Town Manager.
So this came over to me from Mike Brunel. This is for the res. It's an annual contract that they do for the treatment of that facility for, even though it says Town of Southbridge Senior Center, it's because that's where it's mailed to, but it is for the res area in town. I have gone down, I actually was walking through that area yesterday with my grandchildren and my son. I think we definitely have to take a look at that area, because it looks like the dam area is backed up and the water's kind of high, so we'll have to take a look at that area. So, but it definitely needs treatment. A lot of algae, especially in the spillway area, so.
This is normal every year, though, right?
Every year we
Contract?
do this contract, yeah.
Okay. Is that, why can't we do it like a 5-year period instead of 1?
Well, I'll take a look at it. This is the first time it's come to me, but.
Very well. Thank you. Council.
Last year, we had a discussion about this, and they couldn't explain why they do it.
Yeah.
It's an area that's not utilized, and it still hasn't been utilized. Oh, they had plans, they wanted to open up the fishing and all that. They didn't do any of that because the supervision it's not there. So there was really a discussion about how, and the water that flows over there's a pipe that's under the ground there. And there's what we called back in the day a pig that went into the drain if you're looking at the water, it's on the left-hand side at the end, the old beach area. There's a drain in there, and there was a plug that was put in that drain to flood. And then they used to take it out during the summer,
In the winter.
during the winter. And I don't know why we're spending $2,100 for something we don't use.
Right. So my recommendation would be to treat it this year, let the new Rich has only been here, this is his first cycle. We need to evaluate that whole facility of what the use is gonna be. But we should have it treated so it doesn't get worse for right now. And
All right, so I
mosquitoes
mean,
and all
Rich
that.
looks at it, and we can talk about it next year. And maybe there's some other plans we can do in there.
Right,
you
there's
know.
definitely some work that needs to be done in there, whether it's worth it or not, and see what we do with that facility, you know?
Yeah.
The Friends of the Res, again, winters aren't what winters used to be,
No,
where it
2
freezes
years.
over.
Well, yeah.
There was been no ability to use ice
Last
skating or
4
anything
years,
to
they
that.
haven't done anything.
So
Yeah, we talked about a roof through the ARPA funds
Right.
and that never transitioned.
So it's just body of water that sits there that we have to look at it and figure out what we're gonna do with that. But
Yeah.
I would recommend treating it and let's figure out what our plan's gonna be.
Great. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Oh,
Member Cody, you can
go ahead, Mr. Cole.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, I mean, down there, and I think you too, Jack, we were always swimming in there with us. You know, it's such a waste not to use it, we should figure something to use it. And, my property feeds that, and feeds down through Nuisance Brook and stuff, all the fun we've been having. But, you know, it's such a waste that we do not use that. I mean, even like you said, for it was fishing, you walk by and you see some of the size of the bass in there and stuff. I mean, it's a nice little place, it'd be nice if we could figure something to do with it.
I'll get the rod out.
Are you both looking for planning board?
Yes.
It's downstairs.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Since it's called the res, I guess it unofficially allows me to speak on it. But my thought is, you're spending a lot of money to treat for algae in there for a body of water that really is stagnant and dead. My thought would be, just citizen Steve speaking now, is if we did something with the water control in there so we could have it flow through Nuisance Brook and not affect it, but fill that body of water in, make it maybe a dual-use facility, a summer dog park or whatever else you want to make it. In the winter, you can flood it with 4 inches of water, which will freeze a heck of a lot easier than 10 feet of water, and you can still use it for skating. But it would get rid of this algae problem completely and maybe make it a dual-use facility.
Yeah.
I get that's not on the agenda tonight, it was just my thought and I wanted to bring it up, but sorry to sidetrack the
That's good.
conversation away from
No,
something.
that's okay. It's just
No.
good discussion maybe to have here.
No, it is a good discussion because, like, again, I grew up there too. And if you remember, if you were coming from the Glover Street end, walking down, remember there was a wall there where the water came out,
Mhm.
right? That's all, the water's all the way up to the wall. You can't even see the wall. So I don't think anything's flowing right now. So that's my concern. that we have to start-
Okay.
At the
start doing
dam, they
something.
gotta pull the boards out.
Yeah,
All right,
so-
anything else on this item?
I just, as long as Rich gets to look at it, and probably come back with,
Right downstairs.
maybe something in the
I'll
next.
be honest with you, I've been here for over a year now, and I have yet to step foot
Right.
on that property, so.
So,
We'll take a ride.
in your free time.
Funny
For the evidence. Yeah.
And Steve,
All right, all those in favor? Opposed?
just
Thank
for a
you.
little bit more discussion, when I was on council back many years ago, we had the National Guard that was gonna come in there and fill it. And it wasn't a good idea, was thought. We had taken the clay from the landfill. So anyway, it's a great idea. I think it'd be a good thing, and so, okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Memories. I know. You might as well tell them now before you
Hey,
forget them
lucky,
all. All right.
Rob, lucky you remember.
Review and discuss the agreement between the town of Southbridge and Atlas in the amount of $4,200 for asbestos consulting services related to the kitchen renovations project and authorize the town manager to sign all related documents. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you. So this is part of the project that we're doing to do the renovations under the opera money that was given to us. We received, John LaFleche and Katie have been working with different companies in regards to what needs to be done there. One of the things is we have to put a return air, I believe it is, return air
Yeah.
for the exhaust. So we're gonna have to punch a hole through the roof, so we're gonna have to do some kind of survey to make sure there's no asbestos in the roof structures. So we're doing the asbestos survey. This contractor was provided to us through the school district. This was the same contract survey company that did the asbestos for when we did the emergency repairs.
The boiler
on the-
room area.
No, that heating.
Oh,
the heating
yeah,
area
yeah.
above. So they're
Oh,
very familiar
there.
with the building, so this is for that. And the money would come under the property management that we have, not that we're keeping that 50,000 for the equipment itself.
December 31st.
Well, it's gonna be
It's
done.
gonna
I
be-
told you it'd be done. You wanted to see it, but so this is just
Thank you.
for the survey to have it done.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Town Manager. Go ahead, Mr. Cody.
Yeah, it's, $4,200 to look to see if there's asbestos there?
Well, that's also once they punch the roof in, they have to make sure the asbestos. It's the testing of the asbestos. it's the testing,
And repair the roof.
Nowadays, everything's expensive like under,
Yeah.
so.
so. And actually, we had to go back to them because we said that, there's gonna be additional work once we punch in for the upper roof, and they said that they would continue, they would do everything under this contract, so. And John has done a great job vetting them.
Oh, yeah. Just on the back side of this, 1,800 for the survey itself, and the roofing contract is about $2,300 to cut and patch and everything else. All right. And then lab analysis as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Councilor Marquardt, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What happens if they find asbestos?
Then we'll be back and talk.
Then we'll be back talking about some additional money.
It'd be quite expensive. Are you
Well, no, because you're only remediating the area that you're gonna work.
gonna get the seniors out of there while you're doing
We would do whatever had to be done.
It's required by law.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, we already did the asbestos work. There was asbestos in there for, that line that we had
Right,
to
she
take
shut-
out for the heating
she-
line. We closed the senior center down for that period of time
Yeah.
and did the work. I mean, this is a great project to be done. Majority of it is all being done under grant money, so this,
Just, and I know the town manager went through this, the asbestos thing. I know that it won't be an overreaction like last time at the town hall. There's a certain area you can contain it, and that's it. You don't have to freaking shut the whole place down and put RVs out front to do the work. Anyways, so I'm done with that. Anyways, all right. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. Oh man, that freaking guy. All right, number 11. Review discuss the agreement between the town, Southbridge, and AF Amarillo and Sons Oxford Asphalt Incorporated for the furnishing of asphalt materials, and authorize the town manager to sign all related documents.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you.
so DPW went out for quotes, for these materials. This is the lowest, bid comparable with proximity. So we want to pursue this so we can get the hot asphalt, so we can fix potholes with hot asphalt. Correct, Rich?
Anything else?
Will they do the, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, George, and then.
Will they do the asphalt for the road projects you got planned too?
This bid is, it's not, it's a basically for a goods and services agreement. So from what I was told, the requirement of the town in order to buy goods, over multiple occasions from a vendor, so asphalt, for example, so if we send the guys to get 3 tons of hot mix to go do potholes for the day, we're gonna do that X amount of times per year. So apparently we're required to have a goods and services agreement, so this is what that is. This is the proof that we contacted 3 vendors, we got 3 prices. This was the best price, based on availability and mileage, for who we're going to use to buy our products from this year.
So, I know you talked about when we do road projects, bidding and paying somebody to do it. This isn't that.
That's gonna come at a later meeting, we've already gone up.
So just to answer that question, I talked to Rich already about it. It's going to be in a couple of weeks to have
Okay.
all that stuff done.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
And,
you.
and the reason this is coming is because technically this is a contract for service. So under the charter, it's a contract for service, so it has to be approved by council.
So that was my question. What's the service besides providing asphalt? Is that
That's
it?
it, but because this says term of contract,
Okay.
it's a contract, so therefore it has to go to council. Otherwise, we would have
It's
been
a
getting,
catch-all in the charter.
it would have been, otherwise, well, this is one of the things that I think is cumbersome. I mean, I understand the reason why you go to council, but we're now, he gets the quote, now we have to wait almost 3 weeks by the time it goes out, where he could have been patching holes last week once he got the quotes and been out doing this stuff, but now we gotta come to the subcommittee, then go to council, and then start the work for stuff that we're just buying
So
asphalt.
we're buying cold mix for almost $100 a ton, that doesn't last. And the hot mix plants have been open for a few weeks now. So in order to, I wasn't aware that this was the process that was gonna be required.
Okay. All right. You all set, or you
Yep.
got a question? Okay. Anybody else? Councilor Marquette?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, or, So this will replace the crap that you put in that pothole in front of my house, which is already starting to come up. And when they do the pothole in front of my house, 10 feet away, there's even bigger potholes. Are they gonna fix those as well?
That is something that has been brought to my attention by multiple people recently about, patching a pothole while standing next to another pothole and not patching that pothole. And it's being addressed with the staff.
It's starting to turn into a little lake there, so I don't want my property to go up because it's
Your res.
property. So I appreciate if they fix that whole area. I think it's gonna need more than just a pothole. But I'm glad that this will replace, I don't know what that crap is.
So that is,
Some kind of
it's cold patch, it's what's available in the winter months. In the
it's already
future,
coming up, so.
yeah, it doesn't last. There's no way to compact it and seal it generally well enough on a normal day-to-day basis, especially in the winter. And then it rains, water protrudes into it, and it just comes apart. It's
Yeah,
just,
it's coming apart.
it's the nature of the beast, so.
That
We're
could-
looking to convert over to using hot mix now that the plants are open, so we can do a little bit better permanent patch on the potholes.
This occurs every year, right? This is
Yes.
from hot to cold to hot to cold, yeah.
It's just the process, moving forward with these processes is gonna be, this will be the first of probably many of these that we have to discuss. So for any purchases over a certain amount or any services that we procure, from time to time, we might have to do this for each one.
Very well. Mr. Cody?
Yeah, I've seen the guys, most of the guys, a lot of times you see them standing there, they fix the holes and stuff. There's stuff loose that they don't even bother picking up, you're gonna talk to the guys about so it knows now what they're doing, that's there to control things a little better.
So here again, another issue with, the staffing issues that we've had in bringing on all these newer people. The time, we haven't, unfortunately have not been able to use the proper time to train the newer staff to do it the right way. Some of these guys have never done this before, and the senior guys are doing other things that they need to be out doing to, guarantee services to the town. So we're having a little bit of a difficult moment right now because we have so many new staff and so little older staff. The training aspect is kind of lacking at the moment just because of the requirements of what we have going on. So it's a struggle, but we're getting there.
Very well.
Is there a time that we could become like a paving crew, like Dudley and some other towns do it? Or is it just not worth doing it? Like a summer crew of pavers?
So, in my past experiences working in front of the town, I bought a brand new paver. I know how to run a paver. We don't really have anybody that works in our
Okay.
department that runs a paver. I would love to be out there running the paver. Honestly, it's just so much nicer outside than it is in my office. So, I mean, it might not be a total bad thing, but honestly, we're not set up to be a construction outfit.
Okay, that answers it.
Thank you.
It's more now, unfortunately, I would rather be able to have my guys do more construction stuff, and they really do like it when we're able to feed them some projects where they can accomplish something. But the needs of the town have turned the department into more of just a maintenance department.
Okay, that answers it. Thank you.
Anything else? All those in favor? Okay, thank you. Number 12, review, discuss, transfer of $545.50 from project number 68100 DPU rideshare surcharge to account number 00149-5533300 DPW road materials. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Very well. Thank you.
So,
This is
I sent the paperwork in with this. Every year we get this ride share. It's an assessment. It's based on number of riders, and they give us money. That was our assessment for this year. And I have to report what the money's being used for. The report was late because it was supposed to be done by the prior town manager. Normally it's just used for road materials for potholes. That's what I reported as that road materials for potholes. So at $80 a ton, he can get 5 tons of hot patch to fix some potholes.
Yeah, and I realized looking at this.
Close to 6, huh?
Yeah, I realized looking at this, we didn't do this last year at all. I don't think we did the surcharge at all.
Right, it was,
Yeah,
it wasn't done,
okay.
so this
I know
is, this
it's
is.
an annual
yeah.
event. Okay. Any discussion on this? All right, all those in favor? What do we got next? Oh, motion to adjourn.
No, you got
No,
to,
no,
you
no,
should have
14.
a revised agenda,
What am I?
13 and 14.
revised agenda.
I thought I printed it out today.
I don't know.
I guess not. You know what? Maybe I had the PED's paperwork. All right, review to discuss the agreement between the town of Southbridge and Ty Bond for consulting services in regards to procuring a new wastewater operations contract and authorize the town manager to sign all related paperwork.
So moved.
Very well.
Second.
Thank you.
As you're aware,
No, I got it.
we've
There it is.
exercised our option not to renew with Veolia. We have sent that letter through legal counsel,
Sorry.
vetted out that letter. That was sent, yesterday, to Veolia. So we have to come up with new specs to go out to bid for a new contract operator. Ty and Bond will, Rich has met with Ty and Bond and gone through some of the, facilities with them to give us some guidance. We do need them to write the specs so that they're adequate for the procurement process. So Rich is very comfortable with Ty and Bond. So that, this is the contract for us to do that consultant services.
Very well. Do we want to just do number 14 since it has the do? I mean, there's no account or anything like that, but do we know the number?
I do, I gave you the paperwork. That was the transfer form that I gave.
That one?
That one.
It's been a long day for me. I didn't get out of the hammock until 1. All right. Councilor Marquette.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you. Going back to the March 4th meeting, when we were talking about this, and you mentioned that under any new contract, we are able to retain the staff over there.
Correct.
Do you think at this point, looking at the budget, 1.9 million for somebody to come in and run this, if we can maintain the staff, don't you think it would be less expensive to run the place ourselves, hire somebody to be the head of the water department and just run it, or wastewater treatment and water maybe, but just run it ourselves? Don't you think that would be a lot cheaper?
I think the best way to answer that right now is I don't 100% know. I know what you're getting at, and other towns do it. Would it be more cost effective to do that right now at this time? No. Do I know that would be of value for the town to look into it in the future? I'm not sure. So essentially, you, as a town, we would be taking on approximately 10 new employees, 10 new retirements, all of the legal obligations for running the plant and the system, which we're paying for it in a way on its own, but now it's all on us. So we would have to have a qualified staff that we would have to bring on in order to be able to operate the facility and do all of the proper permitting through the state, the federal government, and so on and so forth. So it would be a very large undertaking to start off with right now, to kick it off and say the town's gonna take it over. Is it impossible? No. Is it worth it? I'm not sure. Can we do it right now? No. So if it was something that the town wanted to look into, obviously with this contract, we do a new contract for 5 years, we have 5 years to figure it out.
I mean, 1.9 million, seems to me we could run it for less. And like you said at the March 4th meeting, we get to retain the staff that's over there. So
Correct.
we already have a staff. We just need to have somebody run it. I appreciate at least thinking about it anyway.
If I may.
Yeah.
I think that is something that we could take a look at. I think the benefit of when you hire an operator, if they're in multi areas, that they're able to collectively purchase and have some technical support within other branches that they can bring in that support that necessarily we wouldn't have, but it definitely is worth a look at.
I mean, I have read that you do save some money because they don't put anything out to bid from what I've read. You, on the other hand, you purchase material,
Right.
you purchase chemicals, you purchase parts. You can put these out to bid and save money that way. So
Yeah,
It may be something I think we should at least.
yeah,
take a look
we
at.
definitely could take a look at it, but like the DPW director said, we don't have the capacity right now, within the upper administration, because you're talking, you would need to have somebody to administer, you know, that, the DPW director wouldn't be able to oversee that. He oversees that operation through communications with the operator, but you would have to have a level of administration
Right.
just for that DPW facility, but it's something we could take a look at.
All right, thank you.
Any other discussion on that? Got it? You all set? All right. This is number 13, so all those in favor? Opposed? Okay, 4-0. Next agenda item number is 14, review discuss. Transfer $50,000 from account 60044058300089500 sewer enterprise reserve to account 60044053000. Next to that, for tie and bond services.
So moved.
Very well. Thank you. I discussed it. Any other discussion? All's in favor? Very well. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, they're killing me. All's in favor? 4-0.